Hi, I'm on top of a lookout tower on Albert Mountain in North Carolina. It is exactly 4 months today since I started this journey. It's September 7th and I started in Shenandoah on May 7th. And I'm pretty much enjoying being the only thru hiker around right now. It has its downsides, but something I'm enjoying is I'm really able to hike my own hike, to really focus on what pace I really want to go that day. And I'm also really enjoying being mostly alone on the trails. Like, I find myself just singing out loud or laughing or even crying. I've been really emotional the past couple days, I think, just because of the solitude and without distractions and without behavioral expectations. A lot of emotions come out, a lot of your true self is revealed because there's nothing to hide them behind. So that's been really intense, and I've been trying to just be really present and enjoy that. I've also really been enjoying being an ambassador for the thru hiking community, because as the only thru hiker on the trails, all of the weekend and the section hikers that I've been chatting with, or even the people in towns, when they say, "Oh, you're a thru hiker," they have a lot of questions, and I'm proud to be an ambassador for these kinds of crazy people who would do the whole trail in one setting. I notice that people always ask two things. They say, "You're doing the whole thing?" And then they say, "Are you doing it alone?" And then I'll be like, yes to both of those things. And they'll say something like, "Wow, I don't think I could ever do that." And I say, yes, you can. If you really want to, you can do it. Or whatever crazy shit you're dreaming of. If you really want it to happen, it can happen. And I feel like that's what representing the thru hiker community means to me. It means showing people that when you set your mind to something, it is possible. And I feel really proud to be a part of that community. And this past weekend, there was also a lot of people day hiking with their families because it was Labor Day. And I saw a lot of young girls hiking with their families. And I really hoped that if they were the kind of girl who wanted to go on adventures later in life, that seeing a single lady with a backpack on charging up a mountain would light some kind of fire within them. I hope to be an example to those little girls. And yeah, it makes me think of this time in when I was on the trail in New York, and I was resting by a lake. And across the lake, there was a group of boys and girls in canoes, and sitting on the lake were their moms, presumably. And one boy was throwing something to another boy in another canoe, and the boy screamed, "You throw like a girl! Hey, you throw like a girl!" And the moms didn't do anything. They didn't say anything. And all these little girls were just sitting idly by listening to this, and it was like daggers to my heart, because I think by saying that, what that little boy is inadvertently saying to the girls is, don't even bother trying, because you're not going to be as good as us. And I was just like really appalled that the moms didn't intervene, because you wouldn't let your kids scream racial epithets across the lake for everyone to hear, right? But because it was gendered, it was somehow okay. To me, that showed their own internalized, thought that women actually aren't as good as men at a lot of things. And I know that we're physically different, but we deserve the chance to do something to the best of our own ability, not to be held against other people's standards. And I wanted to scream back at that little boy. I wanted to say, "Hey, can you hike like a girl? 'Cause this girl's hiking 2,000 miles. But then I decided that sassiness hardly ever changes minds, and it definitely doesn't change hearts. So I didn't say anything. And I think that all I can do is just be an example of somebody who's inadvertently or overtly told by society that I shouldn't do something because I'm not going to be as good at it as other people, or that I shouldn't do something because I should be afraid of it. And maybe I am afraid, but I do it anyway. I'm hiking 2,000 miles anyway because it makes me feel alive, and because that's what I want to do. And I don't consider myself a star athlete or even an athlete at all. I mean, some days I can charge up mountains no problem and no one can pass me. I mean, because I've had 4 months of conditioning. But other days I feel totally lazy or fatigued and exhausted and headachy and kind of nauseous, and I'm worried, oh my god, I have Lyme's disease. And then I realize that Lyme's disease and thru hiking have the same symptoms. And then other days I'm just really chill, and I'm just walking through the forest, talking to the birds, talking to myself. I don't want to be the fastest. I don't want to be the best. I just want to be me. And I want to be a thru hiker. And I am.